To discuss this in detail, we've been joined by two guests. The first guest is in the studios, the second is online. In the studios, we've been joined by Shandana Khan. She's the CEO of the Rural Support Programs Network. Thank you very much, Shandana, to have joined us. Shandana, the Asian Development Bank is helping Pakistan. Other countries are bringing aid and relief goods to Pakistan. The armed forces, the governments are doing whatever they can. The people on their own, the NGOs are also helping out. Is this enough?
Well, no, it's not enough. I think it is sort of gaining speed, but I think that we have to look at the global situation also. What the priorities of the world are and have become, and also we have to look at ourselves. Even the small resources that we have as a country can certainly be used much better. And one of the things that we do, I mean, we are a group of 9 rural support programs, and the big ones were set up by government, seed grants from government, like NRSP, like Sindh Rural Support Organization. And we have an outreach through community organizations in villages. So if you look at the flood affected districts, 116 are flooded, 81 are calamity hit. We are in 60 of those with a big presence, and we are covering 3.4 million households in those. That's a large population. Now we have worked with these people where they have made small dams, they've done flood protection work, they've done tree plantation, they've done other things. This is micro level work. If we get commitment to do this on a big scale, then I think we can mitigate a lot of this in the future.
We have the resources to do it on a big scale.
I think that the resources that we have, even the public sector resources that we have, can be probably used better if they are used with the involvement of local communities. I am not talking about big things, right? Big dams and big things. I am talking about, as we were saying earlier before the program, that by 2025 and even before that, some areas will experience drought. Well, look at Balochistan. Balochistan, those areas are flooded today, but there has been no planning even to do
mechanism,
small dams.
But this is the whole crux of the question. Did Pakistan expect so many rains to happen? This 300-400% more rains to happen this year? No, I don't think it expected. There was some expectation of more rains to happen, but to this extent is unprecedented as far as Pakistan is concerned. So we need to be future proof. We need to be climate ready as far as any future eventualities that could happen is concerned. Shandana, when you talk of medical aid, I've just talked to Dr. Saab and you were listening as well. What is the mechanism to bring this aid? Because there is the need for clean water, there is a need for clean clothes, there is a need for clean food as well. The WHO has also taken out a couple of pointers as to how to manage oneself when you are in such a situation. It is very difficult, the condition in which all these thousands and thousands of people are currently present in. You talked of local communities, so did Dr. Sadozai. How can the local communities be engaged along with the different NGOs, along with organizations such as yours, along with the international donor agencies and the governments?
Well, there is government, right, and there is local administrations, and some provinces have elected local governments. Now we are very closely engaged, but of course there is no not enough resources, and of course where local administrations are based, they themselves have been hit by this calamity. But one of the things we found is that we can have a very close working relationship with the district administrations and below, and very often they use the community organizations that the RSPs have helped people to form to identify who needs what. And as Dr. Saab was saying, this is the outreach that we offer, and we have probably the largest outreach in the country. We worked with over 50 million people in over 34 years. So we offer an outreach. We of course do these programs ourselves as well, and government uses this outreach at the local level very effectively. Now of course the thing is that the government itself right now does not have enough resources, and most of what has been coming for relief has been the first responders were people themselves. I mean, you had villages helping other villages. The second responders were philanthropists, maybe in the districts, maybe in the nearby cities, and then came the aid, because aid takes some time to organize, and I must say that some donors have allowed what they call a repurposing of some funds also. But of course, it's so huge that this is not enough. But I think what we need to do in future is, how do we rebuild, and how do we do it in a way to, in a way that is better.
But Shandana, rebuilding is something that is going to happen in a few weeks or a few months time. But before that, we need to secure the people, those tens of thousands of people who are at this moment shelterless, who are at this moment not having proper access to food 3 times a day, clean food 3 times a day, maybe clean water as much as they would like to bathe, to kind of prevent themselves from disease. What are the priorities that one should have right now to help those in need?
Well, as you were saying, food is one thing, shelter is another thing. In a lot of parts, mosquito nets is critical.
With dengue, that is prevalent nowadays.
Yes, exactly. So that is critical. And I think, I would really like to appeal to, Pakistanis. I mean, I know a lot of people are giving, a lot of people are doing things. I think that we can do much better than this. I mean, if you're giving a mosquito net, or if you're giving what we call a hygiene kit to women because they're displaced, they can't use toilets, they're often in a condition where they need, for example, sanitary pads. Now, those things, it doesn't cost much to do this. And I think, if you, I mean, I don't want to use this as a fundraising thing.
But what are the intermediaries that one can use? For example, if one is a citizen of Pakistan listening to this show, what can one do in order to reach? Who can one reach in order for that aid to reach to the people in need?
So there are so many organizations, and good local organizations. I mean, if you go to our website, www.rspn.org, you can donate there. If you're donating a substantial amount and you write to us and you say, this is what I want to be done with it, we can get back to you on that. It does not really take much, you do donate 5,000 rupees, but I think that the country really needs to step up. The common people in the country really need to step up to do this, to help, because I think that we have to think ahead as well. And I'm afraid that yes, we do a lot of giving in times of disaster, but the giving is not organized. And we can certainly offer that the places that we work in, we can give those details, and a lot is on our website also, that they work through the communities that we have helped set up, the community groups, because that is where the impact.
Community groups are very important as we speak. Finally, Shandana, when we look at the relief and rehabilitation and helping the people out, it's going to be a very, very long road ahead, but it's going to be a very arduous road at the same time. How important is the commitment of each and every single person who is involved in the relief and rehabilitation so that the country can come out of the current crisis?
Well, of course, commitment is the first thing, right? The willingness, the commitment.
Are we committed enough?
I think so. Although we have so many diverse problems and issues, I think that we can find resources for this, whether we raise them ourselves, whether we divert money for this. I don't think we can find all the resources, but probably a third of the resources. I mean, we are about to propose a plan where we can rebuild about the livelihoods of what 3 million households. That's a lot of people. So like about 20 million, 22 million people. And that is housing and restocking livestock, agriculture, doing health sessions.
Rebuilding all the barrages, rebuilding the houses, rebuilding and making the necessary arrangement for the crops as well.
Yeah. So giving agriculture inputs where so community level work, and this is not. We think what we do is quite cost effective because there's community contribution in it. We've done it before. It's nothing new. Unfortunately, a lot of what we've done has gone, especially in Sindh and Balochistan. But I think that this is perfectly doable, and the government is aware of this. The government has approached us for this plan. So Yes, we just need to get on track and do the work.
Well, we are on track, but we need to be more aggressive as far as remaining on that track and remaining for all the weeks that are to come, the months that are to come, so that Pakistan can manage to stabilize itself and then become future proof for all the climate calamities that could happen in the next couple of years. Who knew that these floods would endanger Pakistan the way they have endangered our country this year? Thank you so very much, Shandana Khan, CEO, Rural Support Programs Network, to talk about this very important issue, that is the relief and rehabilitation in Pakistan in the wake of all the diseases, waterborne and otherwise, that the people who have been affected by the floods are engulfed in.